Dans all the time. This is the Dan Time Podcast with your host, Dan McArthur.
Welcome to a very special episode. You've heard me say that in the past, a very special episode. Well, if you're familiar with the podcast and the output, the regularity, and now the lack of regularity, this really is special. First of all, that there is an episode. But secondly, as this project has been on pause, I've had to shelve a lot of ideas. And that's okay. It's just the way I described it in the last one, the life outside of Dan time. It's just the way things are happening right now. And I'm where I want to be. I'm doing the things I want to be doing. So hopefully you've got a lot of material to go back to if you've, just really been the ultimate fan and heard over 100 episodes. I'm thrilled that you're that type of listener, but most likely you haven't heard all of them, so there's a lot there to listen to. But this episode is really special because we're sticking to it. The Halloween special. I don't know why it became so important to me, and I think for my guest it is just as important to him, but I like traditions. I like annual installments of things, especially when you get a few going. So this is the third one, the Halloween special with my brother, Robert McArdle, also known as Rob McArdle, just like, I'm originally Daniel, known as Dan. Here he is, and here we are. Happy Halloween, folks. Get out your favorite bag of, if you've been trick-or-treating, if you just pop some popcorn, whatever you're doing, you got some movies ready to listen to watch this weekend. Have some fun, and here's another treat on top. The Halloween episode. How are you doing, Robert? It's so great to be talking to you.
Good to be here. I am wonderful. Can't wait to talk some Halloween, amongst other things. But yeah, doing good.
Dan Time has featured a lot of different guests, and it wasn't my ultimate. I didn't see it going this way in the very beginning because, as you people noticed, some of the first guests there wasn't really any consistency. It was just a mug shop owner. And then we had, a former athlete here, then this and that. But the singer-songwriters didn't come around for a while. But there's been a real musical theme to the full body of work. And I take special pride in that in promoting some of these artists that many of whom you may not have heard of. But one thing I like to do, having you back on the show, Robert, is talk a little bit of music.
Yeah.
And we have an opportunity to do that here tonight. First, before we get into it, because there's somebody we want to obviously honor his legacy, as many people have done. So we're not breaking the mold here, but going back to Halloween music, I think we talked about it last year. Do you have anything different on the playlist than you'd be listening to in August or April or something right now here at the end of October?
Well, not really, as I'm sitting in my man cave, which is pretty much Halloween all year. So I listen to the same music all year. So nothing's really changed.
Robert.
I obviously listen to my horror stuff, but
You mentioned man cave. Would you consider, if I had a place like that, a Dan cave?
Absolutely. have some Dan time down in the Dan cave.
Yep. If I do have to lay this thing to rest, I have been thinking about, well, if I'm going to reboot at some point in the future, what's the next name of the show? What's the next podcast? Because I think there will be something. It may take a couple years, but maybe the Dan Cave, maybe not.
Hey, you never know.
But it's not all about me. So maybe I need to get off the Dan thing, because I think I have to over-explain the fact that it's not Dan time, me just talking about things that are on my mind, and that's it. But okay, let's get to it real quick here. Let's get to some Ace talk. Ace Frehley. legendary Kiss guitarist. And I think for the Halloween episode, it's kind of fitting. I mean, I wish the circumstances had been different and he's still with us here. But, Kiss is, with the imagery and the product lines and all the collectibles, and you could really sink your teeth into everything. It's kind of lends itself to Halloween and this time of year. Robert, how did you feel? Same question about we had the Ozzy episode, and you see the news, and it was unexpected when you heard Ace Frehley passed away.
Shocked, really. I knew he had, I guess, some health problems, but as far as I know, I think it was an accident that led to his death. But I was scrolling around on YouTube, and a lot of times you get these little pop-ups that says, celebrities we've lost. It'll be a picture of, Michael J. Fox or somebody, or someone is not dead. But then I saw one from a YouTube personality. It was Ace Frehley, news coming in that he's died. I was like, oh my God, it's actually true. And so I went and Googled it and found out that it was true. But yeah, just absolutely shocked. I mean, I wasn't expecting that one coming. I know that I think he was about to go on tour, or his tour got canceled due to his health. But just shock and sad to hear it.
Yeah, you're right. He was in the studio, and I think he had done some dates with Slaughter and Quiet Riot earlier spring, summer. I may have the dates off, but yeah, apparently Ace had probably taken some falls in the past, and I'm not a student of all things Ace. I don't know everything about him inside and out, but I have heard that, for lack of better description, he was a little unsteady on his feet, even in his prime, even as a 35, 45, 55-year-old man. He was a little wobbly. And some of that was part of his persona, too, as a guitarist. But, that happens when people of a certain age, especially a celebrity, and you see that they're 75, or if it's another public figure that's late 70s, early 80s, and you see the obituary, you don't really think a whole lot more about it, but there's a lot of falls that take people down.
Sure.
At their house. Just imagine if you're that old, and I think maybe there were people around him, I don't know, and you don't even have to fall off a ladder, just the method, the way it happens, you fall, and you're laying there for a while, and you've started bleeding, and you can't, however it happens. But anyway, Ace Frehley would argue, even he's getting on up there, all those guys are, but gone too soon. This was very unfortunate. But Robert, I'm going to go ahead and say, with the four guys in Kiss, Ace he's not my personal favorite. Doesn't mean I didn't like him, because I like all of them. Where does he rank with you? If you kind of have the four together, who's number one? Do you have a top four of the classic Kiss lineup?
Of the classic Kiss lineup, I guess my number one would be Paul, number two would be Ace, number three would be Peter, and number four would be Gene. And I say Paul because I think he really is kind of the voice of Kiss, but Ace would be a close second, since I guess I can't really tie them for first. But Ace, probably the most talented member of the band, and just had a lot of memorable songs. Has a memorable voice too, even though I would say Paul probably more is the voice of the band. But I would say he's a close second. And I'm ranking this for the most part based on the four albums that they put out in '78. Although I recognize Ace's is probably the best, but I'm giving Paul just the edge. Just because I think his voice is a little bit more iconic. But the albums, when they came out, basically were ranked as, I think it was like Ace, Paul, Peter, and Gene. So that's why Peter and Gene kind of at the end.
I agree with you on the Ace vocals. The way he sings on Strange Ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, song like Strange Ways, and then the Frehley's Comet. material and Ace Frehley solo material, he's got that guy off the street vocal style and almost like lyrical style too.
Yeah,
that's just really endearing because he's not terrible by any means, and he's got this engaging delivery that it's.
Yeah, I mean, when he sings, Back in the New York Groove, it almost sounds like somebody you would see singing, or sounds like somebody you'd see singing in the subway there.
Yeah.
So definitely kind of a normal guy, working man type voice. Even on a song called Talk to Me or 2000 Man, it's, I don't know. I like it.
Well, I'll go ahead and just insert without really any commentary my top 4 in order. And I'll agree with you. Paul, number 1. Some of that is just Paul's commitment to the band. When
he kept Kiss alive in the 80s.
We probably would have seen the end of Kiss in around 84, 85. Had Paul not basically just been dragging, I hate to say dragging that thing along, but he found a way to get some songwriters in there to pair up with and get some songs written, pull Gene back into the fray long enough for him to kick out a few tracks to balance the albums. But also I love Paul's story. I read his book. He always likes to pick on Gene for Gene's ego being the size of Texas or whatever. Or, he lives down the street from me. I can see his ego from here.
Yeah.
That kind of thing, which I always think is hilarious because Paul has an enormous ego himself. He's
without a doubt.
but they are a perfect pair. And I kind of have to just tie them together. I got Paul number 1, Gene number 2 for me. Then I got Peter at number 3. Head-to-head vocals on some of the songs. I mean, Peter's got Beth, of course, but Hard Luck Woman.
Yeah.
I love Peter Criss's vocal style and just have an appreciation for drummers. He's number 3. And Ace he's number 4 on my list, but it's not a whole lot of daylight there between all of them.
Peter, he did the vocals for the title track to Hotter Than Hell, didn't he?
I think that's still Gene, but you could be correct. Gene? Yeah. That's one of my favorite songs on, I wish we could talk about the whole album, Hotter Than Hell. A lot has been made about the production quality or
it's not very good.
lack thereof.
Yeah.
But the songs on Hotter Than Hell are some of my favorite Kiss songs.
Got to Choose. It's a good one.
Yeah. Let's quickly, because this is the Halloween episode, we want to talk about a few other things, but can you easily rattle off let's say, it's kind of a top 10, but the bottom 5 where you just kind of go, all right, here's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, or 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. And then these are my runners up, and then here's my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can you do that with Ace?
I probably know my number 1, but the other 9 probably are all interchangeable.
Let's just reminisce on some songs, and they don't have to be in any particular order. But when you think of Ace Frehley, what you loved about him, what are some top tracks?
Definitely Shock Me, which I think is probably a signature song of his. I believe he was, I think his guitar shocked him, and they wrote that song. I like Whip It Out and Snowblind off of the 78 album. I like Talk to Me, which I think is on Unmasked. I like 2000 Man off Frehley's Comet. Of course, I love, Into the Night, Rock Soldiers, but also Insane. I think It's Over Now is a great ballad. Loser in a Fight is really good. Really, and I believe when we did our 89 top 5 glam albums, I had Second Sighting as my number 5 or number 4 album from that year. And then he did a great record about 10 or 12 years ago, Space Invader, which had a couple of good tracks, notably Give Me a Feeling and What Every Girl Wants is pretty good. And he does a good cover of that Steve Miller song, The Joker, So that's kind of a sampling of Ace's stuff that I really like.
As usual, a great list. And the way you rattle through it there, Robert, folks, hit that 15-second rewind button, whatever it might be. Go back, catch all those tracks, jot them down, because if Robert's recommending it and you like this type of music and you already like some Kiss songs, go check out those ones. And if you really didn't listen to much Ace Frehley solo, there's some fun stuff there. Here's something else I want to address. His live performances, by all accounts, were either pretty good or very, very bad.
Yeah.
And I really don't want to rag on the guy, in this particular format. But I think, it's just you never knew what you were going to get. I didn't get to see him live. But at the same time, and certainly if you spent $40, $50, $60, you go see something. And I can't think of a show, Robert, that I've seen where I went and I was just terribly disappointed in that artist's performance, where I thought, golly, this is a mess. But who knows the whys and the hows and then why, like on the same tour, he's just spectacular other nights. But you got to give Ace credit for cranking out the music, spending time in the studio, writing songs. I mean, he was very active.
Right.
All the way up until the end.
Yeah, I think he's put like 3 or 4 albums out in the last 10 years.
Right. Well, a couple of those songs, I'll throw them in here. Insane.
Good one.
And I got to do this. All right, here we go, Robert. Insane. And I remember listening to this song with you. The chorus. I got money, got fame, got everything to play this game. No sorrow, no shame, because nothing matters when you're insane.
You remember the video for that? How goofy it was?
Yeah.
Where they're all like, they got their heads like in between all these girls' legs while they're dancing. They're just kind of hanging out down there.
Yep.
Yeah.
The opening verse, some people call me a walking disaster, just a waiting for a place to occur. But I still got enough that'll last her till the blood gets ready to burn. My meter is running. Still got a lot of living to do. I live 5 days to your 1, and you know it's true.
Yeah.
I love that. These lyrics are, and you like a lot of his songs, you don't have to think too hard. You don't have to fall deep into some concept, some heavy topic. It's just fun. And it's fun to sing along to. It's kind of like if your buddy just happens to be a decent enough singer behind a microphone, and they're just wailing with a great backing band.
Yeah.
Give Me a Feeling. You told me about that song several years ago. We listened to it together.
Yeah.
Give me a feeling.
Yeah.
That's on Space Invader from 2014. Because you're on my mind. And I start believing till the end of time. All I know, I can't sleep because I'm thinking about you. And all I know, and every day, you drive me so
crazy. Yeah.
Give Me a Feeling off of Space Invader. All right, some of my favorite Ace Kiss songs. I'm going to try to keep this quick with not a lot of explanation here, because my thing with Ace, Robert, and I don't know if it's the same with you, it's not like he was a real technical soloist.
No, but his solos were they rocked and they were loud and they were memorable.
Yeah. Big fan of the opening track on Rock and Roll Over, really the whole album, but I Want You.
Yes. That's a Paul song, though, isn't it? Singing it?
Yeah, it's Paul singing. I'm just thinking of some, songs where I like Ace's playing on it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Charisma off of Dynasty.
Oh, love Charisma.
Really the entire self-titled debut album. You got to throw Cold Gin in there, but also, I mean, Deuce and Strutter, And I don't listen to a lot of Black Diamond, 100,000 Years anymore. I don't know how I either wore it out or just those two.
I never really cared much for 100,000 Years, and Black Diamond. I don't know, that would never really did much for me either. I know that they're well-known songs.
Yeah. Off of Hotter Than Hell, we talked about the title track, but Let Me Go, Rock and Roll, Ace is just shredding almost throughout the song.
Yep.
Is that one a favorite of yours?
I like it. I wouldn't say it's a favorite, but I do like it. And if I'm listening to Hotter Than Hell, it'll get played.
Yeah. That's another one where we've, I think, talked about the lyrics from time to time. Because baby's got the feeling, baby wants a show. Baby, won't you tell me, baby, rock and roll, yeah, yeah.
Okay. That's almost, that sounds a lot like the lyrics to Rocket Ride off of Alive 2 when they did a couple studio songs.
Whoa, no. Well, I think that's the same one. All right. Okay. Getting a little undisciplined here, but a couple more. I don't even know if I'm not even in the top 10. I haven't written any of this stuff down. Creatures of the Night's the last one he's recorded on. I mean, I got to say, the title track and War Machine.
Oh, yeah. Those are good ones.
But, Robert, you may be disappointed here. Number one, and I listened to it tonight from the Unplugged album with the boys, Rock and Roll All Night, Party Every Day.
I was going to mention that earlier because I know that they all four do a vocal on that version, and I always liked his. I like his and Peter's a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else on Ace Frehley that you want to talk about?
Not really. Just he's going to be missed, and he'll be on the playlist for the weekend for another week or two in a row. So rest in peace, Ace.
Absolutely. All right. Yeah. My final thoughts. You know, we saw the reunion tour together in Birmingham, 1996.
Yes.
It's a really special memory there. I honestly got into Kiss. What really, really kickstarted it for me was the Kiss Alive 3 album. So I'm more of the Eric Singer on drums, Bruce Kulick, lead guitar, Paul and Gene. And then I went back and I've got that appreciation for the old lineup. But, you know, Ace is not my number one in the original four. And, you know, like I said, I don't know how you feel, but are you more of a fan of the 80s Kiss or the 70s Kiss?
More a fan of the 80s Kiss. That's when I first got into them. You know, Crazy Nights is still one of my favorite Kiss albums of all time. And I find myself listening to 80s Kiss more than 70s. But you can't deny, you know, what an impact 70s Kiss had on rock and roll. And going back and discovering it when I did, I mean, I can't put it down almost as much as I can't put down the 80s Kiss. So I'm more of an 80s. I mean, love Crazy Nights, love Asylum, Hot in the Shade, Lick It Up, Animalize, love Animalize. But yeah, more of an 80s guy.
Yeah, agreed. A lot of respect and a lot of appreciation for Ace and his imprint on rock and roll, hard rock, really moving this thing forward. They were so against the grain in the beginning. I remember our
Sure.
own mother has admitted to us, she's like, they were a joke band. They were not supposed to, you know, make it out of the mid-70s. I mean, just forget about still being a band and recording something like Dynasty or Unmasked, or that strange period there, Unmasked, Music from the Elder.
Yeah.
Then they just really, well, I don't know how successful Creatures and Lick It Up really were. They got some MTV airplay. And then just to kind of continue on into make it to the mid-90s to then recapture that old feeling.
Yeah. I guess the country was ready for it at the time, and ready for Kiss to come back.
Yeah.
And I would say I enjoy the Psycho Circus record. I know that I don't think Ace and Peter really played on it, but their images were on it.
Yeah.
So I like it. Probably the last Kiss record I really got into.
Yeah, I mean, I love the title track, Psycho Circus. We Are One is, some people look at that as kind of a fluff song, just not really a lot of substance there. I kind of enjoy going back to We Are One.
It's all right. I Pledge Allegiance to the State of Rock and Roll.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Into the Void.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a solid record.
Well, moving along here, because let's face it, we talked about this, Robert, earlier today. Just on this podcast, we did an Ozzy tribute. Now we're doing an Ace tribute. Robert, we're 46, 47 years old. All these rock and roll stars that we looked up to are 66, 70, 76 years old. I mean, this is going to continue happening. And
yeah.
Also wanted to kind of get your take on that. The coverage. Eddie Trunk does a great job just in general. I like that he's, he waves that flag, and he's just really been the voice that people turn to if they love hard rock, heavy metal. But, how emotional can we get? Like, this is going to happen. There's not going to be a lot more space in between, Some of these big top stars are going to keep dropping. So do we keep crying? Do we keep, because I don't want to say it like that, but, just picture our parents, people of another generation, they saw a headline in a newspaper, and they may have seen something at the end of the evening news, and then they just were kind of alone with their thoughts after that when somebody died.
Yeah.
Now we talk about it for like 3 weeks.
Yeah. I'm not going to cry over it. I'm going to celebrate their music, whoever's next, but I'm not going to cry over it just because I didn't know the person, never met him. So it's harder for me to cry over a celebrity that's died just because I never met him. I can be sad they can't make music anymore, and I can appreciate what their music meant to me, but I'm not going to sit around and mope. This is going to keep happening. Ozzy was tough. I'll admit that. And Ronnie James Dio was tough, but like when Mick Mars dies, I'm not going to cry. I'll listen to some Motley Crue. When Rob Halford dies, I'll listen to some Judas Priest.
Yeah.
But as you said, I mean, they're getting older, and Ace isn't going to be the last. So I'll just rock out to their music, just try to have a good time. And I hope that when I die, that people I know will
we'll crank
same.
up ingredients and dig up some old Impalement merch.
Yeah. Or look, if you knew me, it's okay to cry. But if you didn't know me and you've come across Impalement, which is probably a rarity these days, crank that up.
Yeah, and probably generally you would like for people to have a fest or to say, hey, let's party the way that Rob, what would he be doing?
Yeah.
And I think that's all we can hope for is that, and really what we should focus on is the people that we know and care about. I don't want to really dog anybody that's not 18 or 24 anymore, and they're more like 44 or 54, and they're, pretty attached to certain figures in rock and roll. Like, oh man, this is my ultimate hero. Like I don't want to make light of that.
No.
I was a teenager. I was 18, 19 when I heard Harry Carey died suddenly. Big Cubs fan. I'm watching him on WGN since I'm 10 years old. Now I'm 18. I sat there in my dorm room and I cried. I was about to walk out because I had to go to class, and I had to stop myself for like a few minutes to get myself together. And I was pretty upset, and you're right, Ozzy, listening to some of the songs, it gets you a little emotional, but these are people that maybe you had a backstage moment with them one time, but by and large, they were not aware of your existence or ever
No.
thinking about you.
Not even 2 minutes after you met them were they thinking about you.
You know, like when you hear people meet somebody for a second time that they met in 1987, they say, hey, Paul, backstage, you played Indianapolis on that Asylum tour, and I got you to autograph this my album cover, and man, that was awesome. When you were telling me about the house that you guys just built, and did you remember that? They don't remember it. They don't, no. and they don't care. They're not concerned about this. So we just have to be mature, I think, is the way of putting it. Just have fun with it. It just kind of prompts you to get back. Let me go back into the Kiss catalog and just have some fun with it.
Right.
But